Thursday, everyone. It is Scott Wohlers with River Place Capital. It is Thursday, March the 25th. Wanted to talk about what we've seen in markets over the last week, kind of the trends that we're seeing right now in the marketplace and where we see markets moving from here. So last week was a week in the S&P 500. It finished the week down 80 basis points or down 0.8% on the week. And as we've gone into this week, we have really seen the markets really struggle to move up throughout the week, and we've seen more selling pressure than we have seen buying pressure in the markets, and kind of wanted to talk about what's causing that and where we see that going from here, an explanation of what's happening in the marketplace currently, where investors are looking, and what's going on. So year to date, we've seen the value sector of the S&P 500 up over 10%, while the growth sector is down negative 1% or down more than 1% year to date so far. And so as we've been talking about for the last several weeks, as we've talked about this rotation from growth to value, and you've seen the rotation happen, and you've seen the selling of the growth names and the buying of the value names. And a lot of that was based on the reopening trade and the reopening play in the economy. Now, if you look at a lot of the stocks that were beaten down bad last year that were seen to have to be shut down because of the pandemic, they're back above their pre-pandemic levels back in the early 2020s. They're above the level from where they were in 2020. So we've seen a big recovery in the value sector as well as the reopening sector. And so we're in this period right now where we're about 2 weeks away from the first companies starting to report earnings for the first quarter this year. And during these time periods, companies have to be quiet. They can't release a lot of news. They have to be in what we call it a kind of a dead period. And during this dead period, a lot of times what happens is markets are headline driven one way or the other. And there hasn't been a lot of catalysts to move markets up to the upside. And there hasn't really been a lot of negative catalysts to bring markets down. But in markets, you need buying pressure to move markets up. And what we're seeing is weakness in buying pressure. So people are just kind of sitting on the sidelines wanting to see what the earnings look like. And as we've recovered greatly from the lows of March 23rd of last year, as we're in the 1 year anniversary of this, we've seen a big recovery both in the growth names and the value names. So where do we go from here? Well, what investors are looking at now, and now more than ever, is important to be a good stock picker. Investors are looking for companies that have sustainable growth at a fair value price and good prospects over the next 1 to 3 years to continue to grow. So be on the lookout as you're looking in your individual portfolio and as you're doing your analysis of what to do moving forward. Feel free to call us. We're happy to help you with this. And this is what we excel at and what we do well at River Place Capital. But you really have to find the equities that have the sustainable growth that aren't overly valued. They're out there. They're hard to find, but they're there and they can be found. So stay steady during this time as we get into the earnings season. Some of the recent economic data is great news. Initial jobless claims are down below 700,000, and that came out today. That's a really, really positive thing as we see the economy begin to recover and as we see the reopening happening across the country. More and more people are being hired and getting put back to work, which is great news. So stay steady. And as always, if you have any questions about what's going on with your individual portfolio or how to navigate through the market time, give us a call. We're easy to talk to. We enjoy hearing from you. You can reach us at 904-346-3460, or always check us out online at www.riverplacecapital.com. I hope everyone has a wonderful Thursday. Talk to you next week.